Have you ever seen a bear like this before? Probably not. But if you had lived during the Pleistocene epoch, your answer would be yes, assuming you survived. Meet Arctodus simus, standing nearly 4 meters tall when upright, weighing up to 1 ton. It was one of the most terrifying land predators in history, far larger than modern bears. But what about the future? What will bears evolve into? Will they become even smaller? Let's follow these questions together. You're going to your cave, an open plain. You're holding nothing but a stone spear. And across from you, a shadow nearly 4 meters tall rises to its feet. Running won't save you. Hiding isn't an option. Because this is not a bear from our time. Creature from the era when humans first stopped being prey and paid a heavy price for it. And that creature is now extinct. Encountering a modern grizzly bear is enough to stop your heart. But once, this planet was home to giants that could bring down not just a human, but even a bison, with a single swipe, muscles like steel, unbelievable speed, and humans were nothing more than small defenseless prey. So how did a creature like this disappear completely? A meteor, climate change, or something far more unsettling? Because the truth gets even darker. Now picture this, North America, the final days of the Ice Age. The wind cuts through the open land like bone. Something moves. This is no ordinary bear. This is Arctodus simus, also known as giant bear. When it stood on its hind legs, its silhouette reached nearly 4 meters, its weight approaching 1 ton. But what made it truly terrifying wasn't its size, it was its speed. This giant could run close to 60 kilometers per hour. Even the fastest human alive would be nothing more than a slowing target. You see a simulation of a bison herd. Normally, no predator would attack such a large and powerful group alone. But Arctodus doesn't hesitate. A moment of silence, then an explosive sprint. The herd scatters, dust fills the air, and seconds later, a massive body lies motionless on the ground. One move, one outcome. This was the top level of nature. Now pause for a moment. Think of a grizzly bear. Already terrifying, right? Now double its size, longer legs, a narrower but far more powerful skull, and a much more aggressive metabolism. That's Arctodus simus. But here's the interesting part. There was one thing on this planet that even it avoided. Not saber-toothed cats, not giant wolves, not other predators, something else. And this is where the story changes direction. A small group of humans, stone spears, simple leather clothing. They look weak, defenseless. But the simulation gets interesting. They don't run. Instead, they deliberately stand in the open. As Arctodus approaches, one steps forward, the others spread out in a semicircle. The bear attacks, and then the spears are thrown at the same time. One causes pain, the second forces it to change direction, the third pierces its leg. The bear retreats. For the first time, this isn't a victory, but it's a message. Humans have, for the first time, matched this giant. So what happened? These bears survived for millions of years. They endured ice ages. They overcame climate shifts. But after humans arrived, within just a few thousand years, they were completely gone. A coincidence? Some scientists blame climate change. Others point to the decline of prey animals. But those weren't the real cause. Humans didn't just hunt the bear. They hunted everything the bear hunted. Bison, deer, giant ground sloths. Arctodus began to starve, and a starving giant loses its advantage. Humans, meanwhile, became smarter, more organized, and more numerous. This wasn't a war. This was a slow extinction. Think about this. If you were a human living back then, sitting by the fire at night, and you heard heavy footsteps coming from the darkness, and this time you knew there was nowhere to run. That fear was etched into human DNA. Could that be why we still flinch when something moves in the dark? Maybe we're not afraid of bears. Maybe we're afraid of their memory. So what will bears evolve into in the future? We fast forward time. Will mini bears appear? Species that are 60 to 70% smaller, more agile, and consume far less energy? Or super bears? By super bears, we don't mean raw power. We mean slightly larger brains, better problem solving skills, a more advanced sense of how do I find food? And the answer actually lies between these two extremes. Think about it. A picnic area. People come, eat, drink, and throw food and trash into the same container. Night falls. Hungry bears arrive. How do they know how to open the container lid? Where to tear the bag to reach the food? Past was terrifying. and humanity's impact on the world and on living beings didn't end there. But perhaps the real question is this: humans once wiped out giants, but what if one day they become the prey of the things they created? In the videos I share before and after this one, I take the topic to even more fascinating places. If you don't want to miss them, feel free to check out the channel, like the video, and subscribe.